Hello YouTube and welcome to Watch On channel. My name is Anders and today I'm going to review this beast of a diving chronograph watch from the British watch company Christopher Ward. This is the C60 Trident Pro chronograph watch with a water resistance down to 600 meters. This is an automatic watch, as you can see here. A diving chronograph watch, and this watch was kindly lent to me by Christopher Ward watch company, and thank you so much for lending me this watch. And even though that if Christopher Ward is lending me this watch, I will of course do a completely fair and unbiased review of this watch. So like always, let's just start by looking at the dimensions of this watch, and this is kind of a big boy of a watch, and I of course have my caliber here. So if we just take a diameter without the crown, we are just about 44 millimeters. Including the main crown or the crown, we reach 46.5. The thickness is a big chunky 17 millimeters. And the lug width, we get just about 22. So this is a big chunky dive watch from Christopher Ward. This is in the Trident line of watches, and if you don't know Christopher Ward, the Trident line of watches from Christopher Ward is the range of professional diving watches. They are the most water resistance of these watches are water resistant down to 600 meters, and this as well, as I said, it's water resistant down to 300 meters. This is a British designed watch from Christopher Ward, which is a British watch company from London in Great Britain in England. And when we talk about these watches, they are actually Swiss made, as we can see down here. Let me just try to zoom in so you can maybe see it here. It's not really, maybe you can just sense it here. It's Swiss made down here at 6 o'clock. And this is because Christopher Ward designs the watches in London, and then they get them produced in Switzerland. And inside this watch is a legendary movement ticking, and this is of course the Bezel 7750. And if you know this movement, you of course know that this is one of the most used chronograph movements you can find for chronograph watches. It's a very popular movement, and what is kind of interesting and what this movement is famous for is the kind of rattle it gives when you shake the watch. So I don't know if you can hear it, but just try to listen. Maybe you could just hear it. So it's very famous for the sound. If we look at the dial of this watch, we get two sub dials. The one is a 30-minute counter. So when you engage the chronograph, which is engaged now, you get a 30-minute counter up here at 12 o'clock. Down at 6 o'clock, you get the date, and then you get a 24-hour, or excuse me, 12-hour counter sub-dial. Over here at 9 o'clock, you get a kind of a nice running second. So you can see it's moving over here. It's moving all the time, so you get this kind of indication that the watch is alive. And also here you get the 600 meters water resistance and also the information about the automatic chronograph. Over at 3 o'clock you of course get the Christopher Ward name and logo, and this is the new logo they are doing. This is the new way they are doing their logo. They used to have another kind of logo where it said Christopher Ward London, but this is one of the newer watches, so this is the new way of doing a logo, their logo. What you get here is of course screw-in pushers for the chronograph. So for this watch to be water resistant down to 600 meters, of course we get these screw-down pushers. So when they are all screwed in, like the main crown, then you can be sure that you won't get water inside of the watch. When you want to engage the chronograph, you just unscrew these two chronograph pushers here. Okay, and here we go with the other one, and let me just show you how it's working. You know, often when I see watch reviews of chronograph watches, often for some reason they just forget to actually show you how the chronograph is working. They're just talking about the different subdials. They don't even really talk about how the chronograph is working and show you how the chronograph is working. So let me just show you here. With the pusher down here at 2 o'clock, just listen to a click. With this push, you stop the chronograph movement. Then you stop the second hand and stop the two other chronograph dials here. And then you just start it again by pushing it. If you want to start over, then you push the chronograph button down here at 4 o'clock. And this is a snapback. So look at the Trident second hand here. Boops, it snaps back. Now if we take a closer look at the dial of this very, very nice Christopher Ward watch, then you can see here, of course, like I didn't manage earlier, you get the Swiss made down here at 6 o'clock. And as you of course can see on the dial here, you get this wave pattern, just like they do with all the other Trident watches, which is of course inspired by the Omega Seamaster 300 wave dial, the James Bond version. And if you want to know more about this Omega Seamaster watch, you can also find a review here on my channel, down my archives. I own this watch. Christopher Ward, their Trident line is of course very inspired by Omega Seamaster, especially with the design. You can see here you get these beautiful, beautiful hands, which are very, very legible, because you get this really pointy tip of the hands, both the hour hand and the minute hand. And of course the second hand, which I really like, it goes almost all the way out and just touches and runs over the minute markings and the hour markings. So this makes this watch extremely legible, extremely easy to read the time. You can get a really, really precise count of the time with this watch, because it's really a well-designed thing from Christopher Ward. They did this. Also, if you take a look at the second hand, let me just start it here. And this is the chronograph second hand. You can see down here, you get the Trident. So this is why it's called a Trident. It's of course because it's this kind of pitchfork from a nautical theme, a mythological nautical theme. You get this Trident hand, and this is a really cool little touch, which really gives this watch its own kind of identity. What I also really like, let me just snap it back here. I really like that at first sight you think that the chronograph second hand and the two subdials, they're just like ordinary yellow, but as you can see here, when we get really close up with this watch, it's more almost like a yellow gold touch. This is really, really cool. Seen from a distance, it looks like regular yellow, which is a really fresh and nice color combination with the dark blue colors you got on the dial and the bezel insert. But when we actually get closer up and have a closer look at the watch, we actually get this kind of yellow gold accent, which is really, really beautiful. I think a very nice touch, which gives this very, very sporty, masculine beast of a chronograph watch a more kind of elegant and more high-end look and touch and feeling. And that's a really cool thing with this watch. Really cool design cue for this watch, I think. If we look at all the hour markings as well as the minute and the hour hand, we of course get a very nice luminous material filled in these kind of in these hour markings and the two hands. Also we get a lume pip at 12 o'clock, so you get a really, really strong and amazing lume. You can almost sense it down here at 3 o'clock. You can see the little pip here. It's actually turning kind of green now, and this is the lume already working. If we look at the hands, of course, like I said, you get these two screw down pushes. Of course, you need to have them for this being a dive watch. And also you get the main crown here with this kind of pencil, or what they call it, logo, which is kind of etched into the crown. So a really nice detail, and everything is just really well done with this watch. If we look at the case, which is a very interesting little detail, of course you get the helium escape valve, which is a very cool little feature for a dive watch, so it would actually be able to release the helium if you get really deep down into the ocean. If we look here, you get the case is at first sight fully brushed, but when we get closer, let me see if I can get this to focus. As you can see here, you actually get this part of the case polished. So this is not an easy thing to do, and this is just another little cue of how many really cool details that Christopher Ward put into this watch. So it's not just a kind of a fully brushed case. You actually get this very beautiful polishing here, and this is also here, as you can see, polish, and all the way through here as well. So this is being a watch nerd, and if you are really having a nice time with your watch, getting close up and looking at your watch, will of course really enjoy these very intricate little beautiful details. So if we look at the bezel, you get of course 120 click bezel here, and the action is perfectly fine. Absolutely no play whatsoever. It just fits in. It says stop and you can't move it. So a very nice action with the bezel here. You get the minute countings just as any ordinary dive watch, of course, on the bezel insert. If we look at the case back, you get again the Trident. You get Christopher Ward Trident Pro 600 meters. Down stainless steel, water resistant down to 60 atmospheres, which is of course equivalent to 600 meters, Swiss made. Again here, if we look at the details here, C60, all the different details about this watch, and it's a screw-in case back, of course, so it's really able to keep out the water. You can get this watch with 3 strap options. The first one is of course this very nice silicone rubber strap. It's absolutely super comfortable and really great made. A really nice quality and a really nice design. If you look here, you get again this kind of Christopher Ward pattern down here. And this really also gives your wrist just a little chance to breathe, because it's not just plain leather. You get the 22 here, so you're able to actually see that it's a 22 millimeter wide strap. And the same here. A nice little detail here. You get the Christopher Ward laser etched into the buckle, which is really solid made. No play whatsoever. It just fits in really nice. So this is an absolute joy to wear this rubber strap. If we take, you can get it in 2 other versions. You can of course get it with a steel bracelet. This is the most expensive version, and then you can get it with a black leather strap as well. This being a true dive watch, and this being a very tooly watch, I would really think that the leather is a kind of a strange choice for this watch. You will of course, if you're actually going to use it as a summer watch or a diving watch or whatever you're going to use this watch for, you will of course you would want to get the silicone strap or the steel bracelet. At the end of this video, I will of course show you a lume shot of this watch, and well, let me just say the lume is very nice with this watch. This watch comes in at a price point just a little above 1,500 British pounds up to just a little less than 1,600 British pounds. So the most expensive version, the one with the steel bracelet, comes in at a price point just a little short of 2,000 American dollars. So what can we say about this price point? Well, Christopher Ward isn't exactly known as a top-notch luxury brand, but if you would buy a Breitling chronograph, for example, you would probably pay 3 times as much as you are going to pay for this watch if you buy this watch. And with my experience, you get a high quality Swiss-made watch if you pick up this Christopher Ward Trident 600-meter Pro chronograph watch. So if you're out for the lookout on the lookout for a professional diving watch with a chronograph function, a big, chunky, very, very masculine watch which can really take a beating and can help you time your dives or whatever you're going to time with this watch, even if you just want a big, chunky, very nice chronograph dive watch for the summer, for example, this is a perfect choice. Also, if you're really contemplating getting into the whole chronograph, automatic chronograph, this will again be a very, very nice choice. Just be aware that this watch is a very heavy, chunky watch. It wears really, really heavy. So of course we need to have a wrist shot. So you can see, maybe you can get a sense of the size of this watch. My wrist size is 7.1 inches, or in European, here we are. In European numbers, or the metrics measurement system, this is 17.5 to 18 centimeters. So I think for my wrist, which isn't the biggest, but of course not the smallest, I think it fits perfectly. But you should be aware that this is a really tall watch. As you can see, you get this kind of tall case, as well as the screw in back here. It gets downwards, and of course you also get the kind of high bezel and crystal here. This is of course sapphire crystal. You wouldn't expect anything less for a watch at this price point. But I think it's perfectly nice to wear. It's a really heavy, chunky watch. You will definitely almost get a little bit of training with your left or your right hand, whichever you prefer to wear a watch on, because this is a really, really heavy watch. So all in all, a very nice watch, I think. I will just here at the end of the video, before the Loom Shop, just show you what you get. Of course you get an outer box. Then you get this cool user manual, of course, also with see it, the serial number is 0057 with this one. It's been checked, so they checked that it's a good, nice running watch, and you get the whole different details on how you operate this watch. Very nice, very easy to read manual. You also, like always with Christopher Ward watches, you get this kind of cloth to wipe down your watch if you get smudges on it. And inside the outer box you get this nice leather box, this typical Christopher Ward leather box with a watch cushion, and of course also this tag, Christopher Ward hang tag. So this was just shortly about, okay, sorry, let me just show you. Of course you also get the silver printing here, Christopher Ward of London, and this is actually the old Christopher Ward logo, so just to get a comparison with the newer logo. Okay, before the Loom Shot, let me just get into the pros and the cons of this watch. So let me start with the positive. It's a really, really high quality feeling watch. All the details are really well done with this watch. There's nothing really where you get irritated or things with this watch where you think, okay, they just jumped a corner here, they cut a corner, this feels cheap. It's actually, everything is really well made. What I really, really like, because often I find that to be a kind of a little problem operating chronograph watches, especially chronograph dive watches, because you get these screw-in pushes. I must say this watch is super, super, super easy to operate. This is a really nice thing with this watch, that the screw-in pushes as well as the crown. Let me just try to pull out the crown here. And you get this little pop, and then it says to you, well, now you can use and adjust the watch. So at the third position, just set the time. Second position, set the date down here at this very well placed date wheel, and then you just screw back the crown. So it's an extremely easy watch to operate. So what I also really like is the the overall design of this watch. I think it's extremely legible. It's very easy to read the time. I really like the kind of the yellow gold tone you get with the two subdial rings here. So all in all, a very nice watch. So if we should look at some of the less positive things, it would probably be that this is not a very original watch. So Christopher Ward really put in their own thoughts into this watch, but everything you get here, you have seen a million times before. At this price point, you get a really high-end quality chronograph watch, but it's definitely not an original watch. So you could contemplate maybe buying a Breitling or something instead of buying this watch, because they don't really bring that much new to the plate. I think also, and that is of course because it's a very big watch, but I think they just made it a tad too tall at 17 millimeters, especially with the screw-in case back here. You can see it's really pointing downwards. It helps that the locks are curved a bit down, which makes it fit nicer to your wrist. But still, I think they made the watch just a tad too big. And well, the last thing, and this is maybe just with this watch, if you just look at the loom pip here, the triangle, it doesn't align completely perfectly with the 12 o'clock marking. It's just like half a millimeter off. And this is something that can be adjusted, of course. And this is probably just with this watch. I own two other Christopher Ward watches, and I'm definitely not saying that they're not a quality brand, because they are. The two other watches I own from Christopher Ward are high quality and working perfectly. So here at the end, just a loom shot. I hope you enjoyed this watch review. Remember to subscribe to my channel by hitting the subscribe button. You can hit the logo button down in the right corner. Then you will subscribe to my channel and get all the new watch videos I'm going to release. I have a lot of reviews coming up. Also remember to follow me on Instagram and Facebook. Write me an email, give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Leave me a comment if you have any questions or any suggestions for other great chronograph watches at a fair price. And thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Bye. Okay, and here is the loom shot. Just look at how everything lights up on this watch. It's absolutely beautiful. Even the numbers down, the minute counting here, the minute numbers on the bezel insert. Look at the loom pip, and especially the hour and the minute hand. It just lights up completely amazing. So very nice loom.